I want to read another poem, which is an older one. In fact, it goes back several years. It's called Through a Closed Door. And I wrote this poem under particular and weird, wonderful pressures because I was asked years ago when I was living in Wisconsin if I wanted to come to Sheboygan, Wisconsin, to a grammar school there and read poems or talk about poetry to third and fourth graders. And I said, I sort of paused, and they said, "We'll pay you $100." I said, "Yes," right away. $100. So I put it on my calendar, and time passed, a fair bit of time passed. And one day I looked at the calendar, I said, "Oh, yeah, Sheboygan, let's see." And so what am I going to do? I guess I want to read some poems. And so I got my poems out, the poems I had at that time of my life, and I started leafing through them, and one after the other. And I thought, wait a minute here. Anyway, to make a long story short, there wasn't any poem here I could read to third graders. Uh, so I thought to myself, well, what was I doing when I was in third grade or fourth grade? What was it, do I remember anything at all? And bingo, I thought, oh yeah. There was that weird time when my aunt came over, because my aunt lived about 3 or 4 blocks away in those years, to see my mother, and she came in, and I said hi, and she said hi, and then the two of them went off into a room and closed the door. And so I thought, okay. And after a while, I thought I could hear this noise, this funny little noise, and it sounded like somebody was crying. And I thought, my aunt's sister, she was called Aunt Sister, his mother. And I thought, that's my mom. And so at that point, I sort of, they came out and I looked at them and they looked at me and nothing was said and life went on. But I thought, what, maybe I should write a poem about that. So this line came to me. I remember hearing my mother cry. And so I wrote the poem and it came out really quickly and easily. And then when I got to the school, I thought, let's see, how am I going to introduce this? So I said, okay, kids, how many of you have heard your mother cry? Well, there was a lot of commotion and looking around like this, and I could see a lot of people going, like this. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And I kept looking around, and I could see these people going like this. And then there was a third bunch, and they were like this, frozen. And I thought about that for several weeks, and I thought that was 3 ways to say yes. The people who had seen it and really remembered it, and the people who had seen it and wanted to forget all about it, and then there were the other ones who didn't know what to do. It's called Through a Closed Door. And you wouldn't believe this, but this is my mother's favorite poem. I remember hearing my mother cry. It wasn't much more than a small sob, like a cat rolling over and stretching, or a hinge on a dry day, or a table leg dragged. But I didn't know mothers cried then. It was something babies did, or sissies. I must have thought that when you grew up, everything was all right. that you were fixed, at last, like a clock or a pair of skis. It was when I heard my mother cry from another room through a closed door that I began to wonder. I began to wonder what else I didn't know that I thought I knew. Did everything keep secrets? Did the snow fall only to rise again? Was that the tree talking back when you stepped on the stair? Was hair a kind of water that your hand, a five-tongued mouth, drank, lapping it back? On the day that my mother tried to hide her feelings, she gave me mine.